Go live. Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. As we head into our Friday, the gusty south winds are on point as forecast. It's warm here in the Red River Valley, but we have some really ridiculous rainfall amounts falling into the Devils Lake Basin. We're going to go right smack dab to that radar and show you the details on this. We'll get to your questions as well. But first, check this out. These showers have been pretty persistent sitting in this area for the last several hours. And we do have some heavy bands of rain moving through the Devils Lake Basin. This has been creeping and crawling its way along. And as we take a look, we see some of the heavier showers being picked up by the Mayville radar here. In the Stutsman County, moving in on Jamestown, you can expect some very wet weather heading your way. I want to point this out. You're looking at about a half hour's worth of data here, and it's really only moved about 5 miles to the east. So really crawling along, meaning that this area here that saw this heavy rain making its way through parts just off to the east of you in Carrington, there's another batch that's going to move through. This is called training. These showers are training, and the amounts of rainfall are ridiculous in some areas. Now, we'll point that out in just a moment. But let me go ahead and point that out right now. This is some measurements that have been taken from across the area by my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. And we'll go ahead and see if I can pop that up on your screen for you here momentarily. And here it is. So as we take a look at this, what you are going to notice is that in and around the Devils Lake Basin, most of this rain has fallen today. And what we are seeing here is some ridiculous amounts of rainfall right in Devils Lake. 3.6 inches of rain have fallen in the end-dawn rain gauge right here near Devils Lake. Notice the vast difference across the area. Many areas, though, are picking up some significant rain. And look at this, all the way down into that Ashley and Wishick area, 1.27, Napoleon up by 1.44 as we get down closer to the Wishick area. Last night's thunderstorms that moved through the Minot area brought some much-needed rain to the Minot region, but still generally measured only in tenths of an inch of rain. Now, that is what we're going to see today across our area. Most of us seeing a tenth of an inch of rain, but all of the rain that you saw on that radar that's heading its way in our general direction is going to take some time to get here. Remember, last night I said after dinner, before it makes its way to the Southern Valley, I'll get you the latest update on that. But first, here is a look at the latest radar. Once again, we do have those showers moving through places like Langdon, up in the area near Walhalla. We have some heavier rain showers up there. Hannah, Sarles, Munich as well, and some heavier rainfall right now over the Starkweather area. So that Highway 17 corridor, 281, and also Highway 5 corridor seeing some very heavy rain. Fort Totten, Cheyenne, you guys are seeing some very heavy rain in through New Rockford, and looking down to the south here, looking at Stutsman County, some of the heavier showers down here, a little lightning associated with these. We see one little only pink pixel working its way through parts of central Stutsman County right now. So again, slowly creeping its way to the east. Let me get you a linear measurement, how far it is from Jamestown as the crow flies. So this is about 9 miles just off to the west of you. And as far as the rainfall goes, the heaviest rainfall, it's only moving. Let's see how far it moved in about a half hour. Here was the center about a half hour ago. Here's the center now. Here we go. My goodness. So this is only moving east at about 8 miles per hour. So again, with the rains being right here now, 8 miles per hour, it's an hour away still from Jamestown. So let's take you around North Dakota. We do have some wet area roads showing up on the DOT cameras out there. Not a lot of real exciting clouds out there. This atmosphere is very dry in the mid-levels, so that's going to limit some of the severe potential that I thought we may see a little bit later today. It's still going to be warm out there, and yes, we may see some stronger thunderstorms, but the risk of severe 1-inch hail and gusty winds is quite low. Looking in on the Jamestown area, here's what we're seeing on the North Dakota DOT. And look at the drier roads there as we look into your area. But as we take a peek just off to the west of you in the Medina area, then the roads are indeed wet showing up there. In fact, the camera lens is wet. So soaking showers of rain. The heaviest rain, though, is to the north as we look up into the Devils Lake Basin. And you can certainly see that here when we do go into the Devils Lake community, taking a look at this west US 2 view. There's a little bit of standing water in the ditch, but not too much. So it is absorbing. But are you kidding me? 3 inches of rain. Do you have a rainfall report? You can leave that here on my Facebook page. Now let's get right back to the radar here. I want to point out a couple of things. We can look in between rain gauges. Remember, we only saw one rain gauge with a measurement over 3 inches of rain. Here is what we're seeing for Doppler radar estimates of rainfall. So let me go back and turn this on here while I load up this product here. Okay, now I should be able to switch over to a look at the precipitation estimates by the Doppler radar. Here we go. Okay, so now let's go to the last 24 hours. While this is loading here, what you're going to be looking at is some colors. These colors will be representative of where the heavier band of rain is. And you see the blue highlight here? That's a narrow band of ridiculousness as far as rainfall goes. So just west of Lakota, Warwick to Crary is where we're seeing some of these. What do these blue values represent? Let's talk about that. Here you go. 3.5 inches of rain, right on the money with what was being measured by the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network in that area, but that gauge was a little bit closer to this area near the Devils Lake Basin. So keep in mind, we do have some very wet weather near Crary, Warwick, that radar estimates are pushing 4 inches of rain right now. Now, here's the thing. With these estimates, they can be skewed quite a bit. When we get into areas of hail, we don't have areas of hail. This is good old-fashioned rain. So these estimates are going to be pretty good, showing you the areas of concern. This extends up to just off to the west of you in Brockett by about 2.5 to 3 miles. 3 inches of rain there. Lawton just a couple of miles to the west of town, and Edmore just off to the east of you, but no picnic in Edmore with over 2 inches of soggy soakers working their way through that neck of the woods. Now, as we get farther away from the Mayville radar, these estimates can be a little bit skewed because the radar beam is looking higher in the cloud, and that's looking at big raindrops way up there that may or may not have fallen over that given geographical space on the map. So that's one of the reasons why looking at radar estimates can be skewed, particularly when we get a long ways away from the Mayville radar, which is located right here. That beam has to shoot a long ways to get up to the international border, even out west of Jamestown. So you're looking at some radar estimates here from across the region. Ashley, Wishick, and western parts of Stutsman County, that band moving through there, producing up to estimates of up to 2 inches of rainfall. That's not far from Medina. And we do have a couple of pockets that we'll call them wet pockets. Okay, these pockets are soggy because we got soggy 2.5 inch or better rainfall estimates near Streeter from the showers of rain moving through. Out near Wishick and that Green Lake area, look at this, about 3 inches of rain for your area in the day so far today. Last night is when that band out to the west fell, and those have moved out. You're pretty much done with the rain right now. Here's a look at the satellite view across the region. Let me pop up a look at some questions while I'm looking at the satellite view here, just to double check and see who we got on board. Thank you for watching. I sure appreciate that. And let's take a look. We've got Terry. Thank you very much for watching. Chris, anything for Fargo? It's going to be very late, and I have a forecast update for you, Chris, just in one moment. Thank you for watching. Shirley, very much appreciate you watching. Used to live in Rush Lake. Oh my, so beautiful. And look at this. Okay, Brenda, good to have you on board. A little windy in Candu. Yeah, south winds here in the valley really keeping things warm. Now, on the satellite view, clear skies across most of western Minnesota, except mainly up in Kitson County here. We do have those showers extending through this area. And look at, they're just simply not moving through central South Dakota, central North Dakota, and moving up to the north. What you do see is the map of the surface of the earth fairly clearly, without that hue or pall of smoke. So it's another smoke-free relative day across our area at the surface, thanks to the wind direction and speed moving through. So now let me take a look at your forecast. To do that, we're going to look at a high-resolution model so that you get the timing and track, and we can get you on your way if you want to dip out of here. Afternoon, Lee. Good to have you on board. And hi from Valley City, says Janine. Good to see you on board from Valley City. All right, this is a look at one forecast model. I'm going to lop this back. Yeah, let me lop this back one model run here so we can get out just a little bit further. We're going to time this puppy as it works its way through. Now, I want to point out to you that the time here is in Z time or Greenwich Mean Time. That means we have to do a little math. You subtract 5 hours from this. So that's 13Z, 1300 hours here, 1300 hours Central Time is going to be 1 o'clock. So here's a look at the forecast at the 1 o'clock hour. Now, as we move through time here, what you're going to notice is these showers do slowly work their way up into the Northern Valley first. So if you're in Grand Forks, if you're up in Emerado, if you're up in Carlstad, you'll have a better chance at some showers. Notice this model shows these showers falling apart near the South Dakota border, not really having much to work with. Look at this thing. It really fizzles out as it works its way over the valley, and not until 03Z. Wow, that's pretty late, folks. We're talking a good 10 o'clock at night there before it works its way in. So it's going to be well after dinner before Fargo even has a chance of rain on this particular model. And just because I like you, I'm going Of course I like you, right? We're going to look at another couple of models just to dial in and see if we have some agreement here while we're together. Here's the heavy batches of rain focusing through the valley, heading into Grand Forks as we approach the 2Z hour. It's again 7 to 9 o'clock at night as it slowly advects its way off to the east, falling apart, but not missing Fargo. A little bit of rain on the browning grass here in the FM area, but it don't look like the amounts will be as high here. Both models agreed with that. Let's look at one more because we're just having so much fun. All right, this is a look at another storm systems laboratory model out here, and this one has a batch of fairly heavy rain, maybe some showers separating and bringing their way into the evening hours in Grand Forks, but the main event staying parked out to the west, which is going to enhance rainfall totals if this is the scenario that pans out. And again, the third straight model says that's what we get here in Fargo. Very much close to diddly. I could use a little rain, but that's the latest model update for you heading into your Friday afternoon. Will the Teddy Swims concert be rained out? Well, if he's true to his last name and he swims, then he should be good whether we get a lot of rain or not. But all kidding aside, Brenda, let me know more. He comes on at 8:30. I'll tell you what, let me look this up. Where is the Teddy Swims concert? Pardon my ignorance of this. I don't know much about Teddy, or what, is he a swimmer? No, he's a singer. Okay, well, Teddy Swims, the concert could have some sprinkles rather, as we're in Fargo-Moorhead, but if it does not get here till 10 to 11, like 2 out of the 3 models prognosticated, most of the concert's going to be high and dry. Sorry, Sarah, for being a little on the silly side out there, but that's what we're looking at. So that's a look at the questions there. Let me check out some questions on my other platforms here. Thanks for watching. J. Ventas, Electricias al Norte de Estados Unidos. Okay, very good. Welcome. I don't speak very good Spanish. It was a long time ago that Hutch Johnson was in high school, but I love it. It's a wonderful and beautiful language. Check it out. That's the forecast. Thank you for joining the conversation here. Just as a side note, we'll go ahead and take a look at what's going on the national radar. So I'll pop that up here real quick. We're going to roll this back to radar data, and Hutch is going to roll it out to more of a national view here so you can see that. Check this out. Couple things we talked about last night was the fact that here is the good old-fashioned remnants of Francine. That old hurricane out there was not very friendly. Now, the moisture and the flow around Francine, as we zoom in just a pinch more, pardon my bad penmanship here, but we have the south wind moving off the Gulf, and then it's wrapping around the circulation of Francine this way. That's cutting off some of this humid air from reaching the northern plains. Let me get back onto the radar here. I am apologizing. Okay, so here's Francine, Gulf of moisture air being scooped up and brought in. So Florida, wet. Much of Alabama and now Georgia, very wet. That's wrapping up north of Memphis. And then we got drier north winds on the backside of this. So really, sometimes when we get a low pressure system parked out here, those south winds make it all the way up to here and bring us humid air. This air is anything but humid, and I can show you that by looking at dew points. Speaking of dew points, had a wonderful conversation with some students today out in Kindred, North Dakota, and we talked about dew points and why they're so important. They're a precise measurement of moisture in the atmosphere, and they don't rise and they don't fall unless moisture is added or subtracted from the air. So a real cool product there. But now as we take a look at these dew point readings, you can see down here where we have the remnants of Francine, dew points are in the 70s in the southeast, 60s as we get up into Memphis, and then north of us, really not so high at all, capped at about 55 to 60 degrees for dew points. Now, dew points are a temperature, and they're a temperature we have to cool the air to for the air to become saturated. So let me see if I can clear those out. There we go. Now let me clear it and clear it. Let's see. Get off. I'm still trying to draw a penmanship here. Okay, there. Let's see if I can move the map now. Okay, good enough. It's not working so hot. Well, I'll tell you what we have are dew points generally around 55 to 60. So we do have enough moisture in the air to make some heavy rain, but the severe weather threat, because of what's the dew point temperatures here on the ground and just above the ground, pretty dry out there. So really going to limit that severe chance. Again, very late before it moves through. And we went through the forecast showing generally that we have some pretty quiet conditions with regards to that. So let's take a look at your area temperatures right now. I will load that up, and I want to get over onto the map over here, and let's go into our area. So let's go up into the northern plains here. How about, well, let's just do that. Oh boy. Go And here we go. Let's clear all of that. Boom. Okay, I apologize. I'm trying to turn the old telestrator off. There, I think I got it. So now, as we zoom into our area, this is a look at area temperatures right now. And let's go ahead and plot those temperatures. Here we go, 86. Remember, Hutch said 90 for Fargo, and it is 86 right now in Fargo. 79 in Grand Forks, and the rain really cooling things off in the Devils Lake Basin. So if you joined me last night, everything's panning out as forecast. A cool pool under the showers, 68 Jamestown, but the heaviest of the rain just to the west of you likely has temperatures for your neighbors in Cleveland and Medina and on down into Cullum and out towards the Linton area in the mid 60s. But until then, we're going to have some very hot and windy weather here across the region. How windy is it? Let's take a look at wind speeds. These numbers represent how fast a wind is sustained. Oh, no numbers here. We just got the flags. The flags are called wind barbs, and they show us the direction the wind is coming from. Fargo, mainly a southerly wind, and the full barbs that you see here are 10 knots each. So 10, 20, 25 knots in Fargo. Looking up into Grand Forks, we have some healthy winds. How about Boston? Let's check out Boston. Oops, it looks like I'm measuring distances here. So let me go ahead and turn that off. Okay, very good. So in Boston, I can take a look at what's going on with regards to the report here. 23 mile per hour winds and an 82-degree temperature for your area. As we look in towards Cooperstown, let's see what we got there. 72 for the temperature in Cooperstown. Your dew point is in the low 60s. So that's a look at your current conditions. Here are wind speed gusts, or wind gust speeds, I should say. And let's see if it's going to, pardon me while Oh, I flipped the wrong one. Okay, so we do have some gusts still around 40 miles per hour here in Fargo, 36 miles per hour presently. The winds have calmed down just a little bit out towards Harvey. It's a 16 mile per hour gust there. So the strongest of the winds here in the Southern Valley from Sisseton and through Fargo, Moorhead, and out into Lakes Country, where we still have a few of you approaching 30 miles per hour or better. That does include you in Crookston, where you have a 33 mile per hour gust right now. So gusty winds, hot weather, rain not until later today. Hopefully this will make Teddy swimmingly happy on his performance tonight. Let me take a look for your questions, and if that's it, we're going to wrap up this episode of Hutch's Weather. Kind of an update on the very heavy rain going down there. Was just down there to get food. Let's see. Oh, I think people are conversating with each other. Any more rain for Minot, Brenda? It does not look like rain in Minot for tonight, and the next chance will be a little bit later. How about this? When we come up with our broadcast this afternoon in a couple of hours, I will go over the extended forecast, the next best chance of rain. We do have a chance of rain on the weekend, but the best chance of rain is the middle of next week. And it does look like after a little nice cool down from this cold front moving through now, we're going to see some changes come through. And the heat returns for a little bit, but then we're going to get right back into some cooler and wet weather by the middle of next week. More details on that right here on Hutch's Weather. For now, very wet rain with copious amounts of rain in the Devils Lake Basin happening right now. More is on the way. These showers will get to the Northern Valley first, and we're talking still near dinner time. Jamestown, they're still a good while away from you yet, about a half hour or maybe even an hour out from you. And it's going to take until after dinner time and likely after 10 o'clock before they reach the southern Red River Valley, Fargo and Point South. That's your forecast update. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hey, guess what? I really appreciate the pictures. I'm going to have a reel coming up here very soon, so check that out. Sharing your photos. If you have a photo of the Northern Lights last night, they were out, some beautiful sunrises and sunsets caused by that smoke. Well, I'm going to have a video up there for you on that. Check back regularly. Have a wonderful Friday. I hope you're having an awesome day. And until next time, stay tuned to me on Hutch's Weather and stay dry, and check out hutchesweather.com.